Most of the time you'd see someone, most riders are riding with a computer on. Now, he's also not got a frame number on his bike, so he may have had a bike change at some point during the stage that we haven't seen, which is why he's not got it on. But you always tend to take that with you anyway, so interesting.
And this is that moment that you were talking about. This is that uphill drag. It's 1.4 kilometers, 7.1% average. That is significant. Let's try again. Significant. Thank you.
Yes.
Very difficult. And now the gap is coming down. Of course, it's all down to where the motorbike is. The motorbike is actually riding side by side with Burgado and is a little bit in front of the peloton. But look at that. It's now melting really, really fast, Magnus, just like you predicted.
Yeah, I mean, they've shaved about 15 seconds off here already in the first couple of 100 meters of this climb, and continuing to push on. But now they're just down to a couple of riders ahead of Paulus here, which isn't ideal. Ideally you'd like to see them sort of completely bring this gap back before, but unless Paulus is thinking he might attack over the top here.
Yeah, because after a climb comes a descent again, and that is one of the specialities for the man from Northern California. Really doing a lot of work there, but this is a pretty steep one to Sofia Antipolis. Look at that, it's down to 24 seconds only. I have an attack there from one of the riders from Groupama FDJ. It could actually be David Gaudu. It is not David Gaudu, it is Romain Grégoire, one of the promising talents from France, followed by Lafay. And now everything starts to fall to pieces there. We have Perez there as well. Gaudu is not that far back. Also Bardet is in the mix here. We have in the white jersey Skelmose, and looking out for the man in the yellow leaders jersey, Magnus. He doesn't have a yellow helmet like Esteban Chavez has. That would be interesting, but he is still in the mix. He's still
right
there.
At the very bottom of your picture there.
There he is on the wheel of the rider from Total Energie, Anthony Turgis. Fideli there representing Q36.5. We also have Benjamin Thomas there for Cofidis, and Romain Grégoire there in first position. There is an attack from, well, a little bit of an attack there from Paulus, but it didn't materialize. Another rider then from Groupama FDJ, attacking with Bardet. And also, looks like Tronchon, the AG2R rider, winner last year in Burgos as a stagiaire. And there is Parepintre, the number 4 in the general classification, following the wheel of Victor Lafay, the man from Lyon. Interesting to see who the rider is from the Bingo team. Might actually be Remy Metz, but we'll have to confirm. In the bright yellow there in 4th position. But they're over the top and might just, almost on the wheel of Mathieu Burgado. There he is, leading the peloton, Aurélia Parepintre. He was in that decisive group yesterday. He's 4th in the GC, but more attacks are happening. Go away, trees, you're in the way. It is still the man from Groupama FDJ, Genietz, who was number 3 yesterday. Paulus is there as well. These are the riders on the top of the leaderboard doing some work. And Vauquelin, he is a little bit further back, Magnus.
Yeah, but he's playing it cool and not really sort of chasing too many people, just really playing it calm, and I think he's doing the right thing here. There's no point in jumping after all of these little attacks because other riders will do that for him. So he's just got to make sure that he pays attention to the riders that are closest to him on GC.
We do have one little climb coming around 4 kilometers. It's just a very small climb, and then it's basically straight towards the finish line, where the final kilometer is an uphill drag again. Oof. That is, it looked like they were going the wrong, they are going the wrong way, indeed. It is the rider from Lotto Destiny actually taking the wrong side of that road and hoping that he can just hop over the bike path, and lucky to be back there. But Yeah, that could have meant the end of his attack there. Q36.5 is the team here with their rider Fedeli. Alessandro Fedeli, the Italian rider, really big gear on right now. And that moment that this rider from UNO-X and also Lotto Destiny taking completely the wrong road there. And I think it was Vilsley, the Danish rider there for UNO-X, taking the wrong turn. We have Chavez there in the first. We have another UNO-X attack. Barret-Peintre is there. Bardet coming to the front, Chavez, and Vauquelin still there on the wheel as we speak of Benjamin Thomas of Team Cofidis. He's still there, still holding. He has that 35-second margin on most of these riders, but only 9 on Paulus. So 10 bonus seconds on the line, 11 on Genietz and 19 on Barret-Peintre. Quentin Pachi, the rider there for Groupama FDJ, currently attacking. Really big gear on there for Fedeli, Magnus. Look at that. My knees hurt just watching that. I think it's Jordan Chegat here of the team from Nantes. Currently in second wheel following Quentin Pachi. Thibaut Pinot, we have a new leader. Things are changing really, really fast, but I think we've seen all the riders right now of Groupama FDJ putting in a little attack. The only one I haven't seen is actually Sam Watson.
No, I haven't seen him yet either. Maybe they're trying to keep him calm if he's still there in the peloton waiting for the finish. But it's a reduced group that's coming towards the line here. So question is, how many riders have they still got left? And seems like there's not really a team that's taking charge of this. All the Cofidis are trying to sort of calm it down by just keeping a consistent, relatively high pace, hoping that they're going to be able to bring this back to a sprint.
This is an interesting moment for Thibaut Pinot. There's a little bit of hesitation as the peloton catches Jordan Chegat. And Thibaut Pinot just soldiering on. He won this race in 2019, the general classification. This was the last little hurdle before we get to that final kilometer, which is uphill again at about 3-4%, I think. Thibaut Pinot, he is the chouchou of France. He was in his early 20s when he ended up on the Tour de France podium. And everybody thought, well, it's going to happen. We're going to have our first Tour winner since 1985. And despite the fact that Pinot won so many bike races and did some fantastic things, he never got closer to winning the Tour de France than I think 9 years ago.
It's Nelson Paulus going after.
And Paulus is dangerous for the lead in the race because we have 10 bonus seconds for the winner. And there's only 9 seconds between Vauquelin and Paulus. Neither of these riders picked up points at the intermediate sprints, but Skelmoser did. 2 seconds for Matthias Skelmoser at the intermediate sprint, all the way at the start after 17 kilometers into the race. An attack from one of the riders from the Aubert team. Followed straight away by, I think this is Gaudu. It is indeed Gaudu. Yep. And Vauquelin straight on the wheel with the man in the bright yellow being Marco Tizza. The Italian was in the top 10 yesterday as well. Look at that. Really ferocious attack here going into the final 3 kilometers. And Tizza, well, completely explodes there.
This is interesting. A bit of a gap opening up there now.
If I saw it correctly, it's 1:33. Being Thomas Gagignard. And there's an attack from Vauquelin. Our colleagues at Eurosport France, they were very confident that we would see Abyss, that we would see a second stage win for Vauquelin. And this is an interesting attack. 2.5 kilometers with only David Gaudu following him. Look at that. He is really attacking those corners, following the line of the motorbike. And Gaudu having trouble actually following here, Magnus. He's really pushing. He's pushing everything he can through these corners here now, and he's got himself a bit of a gap. But I don't know if it's
a bit too far out from the finish. Be good to see how big that gap is, but Gaudu is with him. Chase is happening behind though.
It is the man from the small team of Saint-Michel Mavic, Thomas Gagignard, a youngster, also with number 43, Felix Gall, the rider from Austria, and also in the mix is Anthony Turgis for Team Total Energie. Nielsen Paulus not that far back, but these are David Gaudu and Kevin Vauquelin. It's Turgis trying to bridge across there in the colours of Total Energie, and also Felix Gall really trying hard. We have Romain Bardet still there, Skelmoser in the white jersey. This is the start of the final. Two riders here for EF Education. Easy Post with Piccolo, who can do a sprint like that as well, and Paulus. Look at that. Look at what Nielsen Paulus is doing. Trying to do a lead out there for Piccolo, who's finding it really hard to follow the wheel. We have Skelmoser there on the left side in the white jersey. We also have Anthony Turgis, and it looks like Matthias Skelmoser is going for it, taking 10 bonus seconds. Matthias Skelmoser wins the stage in a rather surprising move. Great win there for the youngster for Trek Segafredo, taking 10 bonus seconds. It also took 2 on the road, meaning that's not enough to take the lead in the general classification, but that was some win by Matthias Skelmoser.
Yeah, that was well timed. I think he just played it cool and waited and waited and waited, and everyone kind of brought him into position and launched the move at the perfect point. I think Paulus was expecting to do more of a lead at that point, but had to finish it off himself, and another good placing for him. But Skelmosen definitely very quick there in the last couple of 100 meters.
Very confident as well. Great win by Matthias Skelmoser for Trek Segafredo. Vauquelin still race leader. Well, I would like to see that final kilometer. It came a lot quicker than I thought it would. All of a sudden we were in that final kilometer, so either the GPS was off, but let's see the sprint again. Magnus.
Yeah, I mean, Paulus comes around the corner first here, and then sits up and has a look around, and gets jumped by Skelmosen there, especially, who just got the gap straight away. And then I think Paulus has the power to sort of start coming back at him, but at that point there was just not enough road. So the timing was impeccable by Skelmosen.
Paulus and Turgis also on the podium with Vauquelin. I think he was just 4th, but might have been 3rd there on the line, but he keeps the lead in the general classification. One more stage to go, but still a rather big group there in the streets of Antibes. And this is the Azur Arena, the indoor sports facility here in Antibes. The results, Skelmoser ahead of Paulus, Vauquelin indeed in 3rd position, picking up bonus seconds again. Anthony Turgis, Thomas Gaudu, Venturini, Sam Watson, there he is again, Romain Bardet and Andrea Piccolo. Watson really hiding in that peloton, but the young man from Britain is making fantastic progress there on these tough finishes, because this was a difficult stage.